Thank you for joining the July 23rd, 2019 VOLTA call. Just a reminder that these meetings are public and recorded, and we do post them to YouTube after the meeting concludes. So please keep that in mind during discussions and any presentations, should we have any of those today. And mainly on the agenda today is going over new JIRAs. We have a handful of them come in over the past week, and then to touch base on where we are with Sprint 4, which I believe started last week, July 15th. And then also a note here copied over from some email exchange that we still have some patches that are waiting for review and merge for 1.x. And so we do have a note about that here as well. Are there any other items that the group needs to discuss today? Okay, then let's go ahead and look at the new JIRAs. We'll start with 1788. Okay, 1788, incorrect ports update sent after a logical port change. This one was reported and worked by Ken, and it looks like it is complete at this point. And we do have the description noted for the defect that when a logical port change occurred, the status of the older port was sent instead of the newer status. And so again, that one has been completed at this time. Have any questions from the group? Okay, we will move on to the next item. Next one was opened by David, and it looks like it was being worked by him as well. 1789, create a Helm chart to deploy those components on which VOLTA integrates within a solution but are not part of VOLTA. And then a reference here to the instance of pre-radius that was there in the 1.x Helm chart. David, are you on the audio bridge?
I am on the audio bridge. There's a patch set waiting review for that, for the free radius Helm chart.
That is noted down here. Okay, any questions from the group? Okay, then we'll move on to the next item. Next we have Vol 1790, create test framework. This is from Kailash. This is creating an automation test framework using Robot Framework 3.1 and Python for VoltaGo. And we do have a patch out there in Garrett as well for this.
I've had some back and forth with Kailash on this. This is starting some robot tests that start the test aggregation testing. I'm not sure VoltaGo is the right place to put this. I'll talk that over with Kailash, but the idea going forward is that Robot Framework is a commonly used testing harness that allows people to write tests that integrate across that integrate across Helm and other tools, Kubernetes and whatnot, and we're using it extensively in SIBA. And it should be fairly easy for people to add tests to that. So I'll talk over Kailash about. I think we'll probably end up needing like a Volta test repo or something to hold this sort of code, rather than putting it in with VoltaGo. But I think we'll probably have. I'll have to talk it over with Kailash, but I think we're pretty close to being able to offer something that can be built upon.
Great, thank you. Any questions from the group? Okay, then we'll move on to our next item, 1791, Volta 2.x test automation. And this is for porting the automated test cases that are referenced in one of the other JIRAs over to Volta 2.x. And this one, it looks like was reported by George and is being worked by Cristiano. You have any questions from the group? Okay, and then the next I'll probably take as a group here, 1792 through 1795. Those are part of the it's a story and then some subtasks that are captured here below for that story. So Vol 1793, OpenOLT adapter shall use the MAC address coming as part of device info from the agent to update the device info in the core. And we do have the description for that. This is from Girish. Girish, it looks like you'll be working this as well. And then we have that broken down with several subtasks, which are the 1792, 94, and 95 that are described here. Add the MAC address as part of the device info message on the OpenOLT.proto interface. OpenOLT agent shall populate MAC address and device info message. And then finally, OpenOLT adapter shall use MAC address from the device info message and update to core. And Girish, anything you'd like to add? Or any questions?
Yeah, so the MAC address is currently dummy in the OpenOLT agent. So irrespective of the physical OLT you're using or any simulated OLT you're using, the DPID is always the same because the MAC address is hard-coded, and the DPID is derived from the MAC address. So this work is to fetch the MAC address from the device and use it. So this generates unique DPID per device.
Thanks, Girish. Any questions from the group? Okay, let me do a refresh to see if anything else has come in. It does not look like it, so let me go back to our agenda screen. And I think before we jump over, I don't think we have Shad or Saurabh on the call. I know Saurabh is I think out of the country at the moment. I'll jump down to this last item I added on here. Girish, I copied over the link to the open patches that you have that are for review in Garrett for VOLTHA and OpenOLT for 1.x. And so there's an email chain that's separate that's looking to get those reviewed and merged in by Shad or Saurabh. So I've just copied that on here to keep it tracked in the minutes as well. I'm not sure if there's anyone else who can assist with that, but right now we are looking to either Shad or Saurabh for that work.
Thanks.
Okay, and then moving back up to the status updates. So let me go on to our sprint in progress at the moment. Okay, so we have some items that have come in and completed, and so we're making progress with items there. I wanted to check on some of the work for 1551. We've got a couple open Garretts out there, or open reviews in Garrett. This was reported by Amit, being worked by Chaitrashi. Sorry, I'm probably not pronouncing that correctly. Is there anything we need assistance from the group at this time for those reviews? Okay, I'm not hearing anything, so let me go ahead and just make a statement that if you do need some assistance, if folks would let me know so I can try and contact people to get them engaged, I'll do my best. Okay. Then going down to 1778, I think we looked at this one, yeah. So 1778, we talked a bit about this, I think, previous meeting. And this one is in progress. I don't see the reviews out there yet. So let me try and move on. Is there any, let me ask first before we start doing the one by one here. Are there particular items anyone in the group would like to jump to for some discussion? Okay, I'm not hearing anything, so we'll move on. Then we do have a number of items that are out there for review. 1648 is under development at this point. I think this may have been on hold actually at the moment. Oh no, Dev Malia is working on that one. Okay. Any updates on this item that we need for discussion? Okay. Then I know the brigade work is going on for BAL 3.0, so we've tended to let those topics be discussed as part of that brigade. It looks like there are patches out there under review, so that looks like it is progressing. Anything that needs to be discussed with the group? Okay, I'll move on to 1607. This one, so David, we'd had a question before I went on my vacation related to when we expected this work to be completed to have the Golang version of OF Agent available. So I don't have a firm answer on that yet. So
at this point, from the stabilization brigade, it's been postponed. This is a put off indefinitely, and I think Sean was going to talk to Mark about that.
Okay, thank you. Okay, 1385, I don't see that in Garrett yet, so I'll go ahead and scroll down. And Chip, I think I saw you on the bridge. This was the operational status ONT Uni port data. I think we still have you assigned to that item. And I'm not sure if we have the correct status in here. So a while back, there was potentially some items where the changes hadn't been merged in yet. And I don't know if we got that sorted out.
Yeah, I haven't done any work on 2.0 yet. We're still working on our base adapter.
Okay, got it. Thank you. And then 1408 is the open item for HA testing. So I believe that one still remains open. Let's see, I don't think Ken, oh, Ken, you are on the bridge. Any update we need to track for this item today?
No, this will also be part of the brigade work.
Okay, thank you. And then I think similarly, we've got the integration testing for OF Agent Affinity Router and Core. And let's go on to the next item then. 1564. Looks like we have 2 closed Garretts and 1 open. In that, with the open ones for a defect that was found. Any discussion we need to have for this item today? Can't remember the date this was put in. Looks like this one is pretty old, actually. Last discussion was about a month ago. So Ken, I think you'd sent some comments back, and I'm not sure what the next steps are on this item. I haven't seen a response to the comments that you had.
I believe this comment is obsolete.
Okay.
Yeah, because I made changes in that area, and I had to make changes in that area so that my changes also incorporate those changes. And whatever is missing is also part of the tech profile comment. So I think this one can go away.
This one can, did you say go away?
Yeah, be abandoned. Yeah.
Okay, so is that specific for the bug fix item?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, and so the other 2 that were merged in, then hopefully once we abandon the bug fix, then this can be closed as done. Okay, thank you, Ken. Or making a little note to myself. Okay, we'll try and get that updated after the call. And then 1579, we do have an open Garrett out there for review. This one, Girish, it looks like it's one that you were working on. And this, it looks like we are, oh, it's fairly recent, but the latest patch set, but still pending review. Is there anyone else we need to add to this review?
The changes in the OpenOLT adapter, I think Shad or Matt are the best person to review this. Matt could be added here.
Okay, so let me do that offline. 1579. I'll add Matt to the review. Thank you.
It was approved already, but there was a merge conflict, so I rebased and the approvals are gone.
Ah, okay.
So
yeah.
So we just merge.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. I think this was Zach. Zach, is there anything we need to bring up with the group again, or schedule some time for talking about the documentation process for VOLTHA?
I have not had a chance to work on this since I last touched it, which was a while ago.
Okay.
I can bring this up again, but I didn't come to any consensus about that. If this becomes a large priority, I can turn my attention back to it. But
okay.
For now, I do have a patch set up, but it's not probably as functional as people would like.
Okay.
So that comes down to the community. If people want me to work on it, I can. It just hasn't hit the top of my priority list in a while. Thanks.
There's quite a lot going on, so.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks. Then let's move on then. 1617, it looks like that one actually was yours as well, for change VOLTHA BBSIM to use new unit test template.
Yeah, this is also hasn't hit the this is changing how it works in Jenkins for testing BBSIM.
Okay.
It has custom code written. I want to make it work like all the rest of the things. I just haven't gotten around to it yet.
Okay. Is this something that should be deferred to a later sprint?
I think probably this and the documentation could be deferred to a later sprint. It's not, unless people think they're very important. I know there's a lot of work going on in BBSIM right now, but I'm not, and somebody might have actually picked this up already, but
okay.
I can definitely look at it if we need it.
Okay, so I think what I'll do is afterwards I'll capture that in the notes. We'll defer those to a later sprint, and then I'll move them back to the backlog at that time. Any objections from the group? Okay. And we've also got 1612. This is a release engineering process.
I think this is mostly done for the portions that would have needed to get done. All the CI changes are in. Okay. I know David and Ken helped a lot with this. But I think there's still one or two items in it that if you, I don't think in this view you can see the sub or the items that are attached to the epic.
See here.
So yeah, we had a few things and
yeah.
Documentation, mainly my stuff, and also there was some things for the API versions and for the AdTrend adapter and those sorts of things.
Okay.
Yeah, I think these all need to be done, but I think they've fallen off the priority.
Thanks, Zach. Any other comments from the group? Okay, let's then go to 1580, support reporting ONU registration ID in the OpenOLT driver. We do have one open, Garrett, and it does have the +2, so I think we're just waiting for the merge. Girish, if you have any additional comments, you can provide that.
No comments.
Okay. So this one, once it gets merged in, we should be able to close or move that to done. And then I think we have a similar thing that's 1581, the ONU activation alarm. And this one is still waiting for a +2, but it does have the code review, so we're waiting for the +2 and the merge in for that. Those were a couple of the ones that were waiting for 1.7 to be cut a while back. So now they're back on the agenda for being closed or merged in so that we can mark those as done. Any other questions from the group? Okay, then next is 1666 is one of the in-progress items. Gilles, it looks like this is yours. Let me see if you're on the bridge.
Yes, I am.
Yes.
Yeah, I currently raised the issue. I'm currently blocked right now. I'm having some issue with the DHCP L2 relay. Girish did suggest a few things, but so far it's not working. So I don't know. I've raised it to the BB-SIM brigade and I didn't get any answer there. So I raised it to VOLTHA discuss, and this is where Garish stepped in. But I really need to get going on this if I want to address the 2.0.
Yeah.
Gilles, I saw
Yes.
your net config. Allow me some time, but if I find something, I'll reply on VOLTHA discuss.
Okay, that's very good. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Girish. Hopefully we'll be able to get that resolved for you then over VOLTHA discuss. You can move forward. If not, please go ahead, Gilles, and bring it back to my attention. I'll try and track someone down if we don't make any more progress so that you can start working on that again. Okay, thanks. And then 1661, this one, I think there are a couple closed. Yeah, this is the one where, David, we have a couple mergers that were done for this, but you were still seeing issues. This is the when starting VOLTHA, sometimes the API server needs to be restarted to work. There should not be a startup dependency. And you were still having issues last time with this was retested. So I think Kent,
as far as I know, it's still happening.
Yeah. Kent, is there anything else we need for discussion on this call today for this item?
So related, there was a major rewrite to the Affinity router, or sorry, to the AF router D yesterday. And I have not even root caused this yet. I've been pulled into other things. So it's sort of to retry it yet again and see. And if it's still there, I'm going to have to go actually look at it in more detail. Yeah, I'm just getting the bug fixing now. It's pretty much where it is.
Okay. Thanks, Kent. David, any other questions from you or from anyone else in the group?
Nope.
Okay. Then we'll move on. 1516. Andy, I think this is one you were working. I think I saw you on the call.
Yeah,
and
I'm here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
This is a pretty old issue with PonSim. I guess I'm not sure how much of a priority it is, but it's been hanging around for a while. So maybe I can give it a little bit of attention and see if we can get this resolved, get it off the list.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Andy. We'll go ahead and move on to the next item then. 1710. I don't believe there's anything in Garrett at this point for review. This is for generate OLT connectivity related alarms and Golang Open OLT adapter. Girish or Danielle, is there anything we talked about with the group on this item today?
Nothing from me. So the event framework is out there right now. So I think Daniel is working on this.
Okay.
Yes, it's Daniela. Yes, I'm working on it. Still need some more information, and I'm asking for information. And okay, I suppose I will implement it in the next days.
Okay, thank you. All right, I think that covers the items that we had in progress for Sprint 4, and then we have a number that are remaining in the to-do column. I think those are generally assigned. Maybe a couple that are still pending. We've got one of them on the OpenOLT preserve and verify statistics and alarm collection. That one is currently unassigned. And then at the bottom as well, the VOL 1709, add missing priority queue attribute config from tech profile. That one is unassigned as well. But I think the rest have at least preliminary assignments that may get mapped to other folks in some cases. Okay, in the to-do column, I'm not expecting we need a lot of discussion today, but is there any, I don't think since I was on vacation last week, I've had a chance to kind of review this, see if there's anything else we need to pay some attention to for this sprint on the to-do item. Anything people would like to bring up for discussion? Okay, then let me just check one more time if anything else came in while we were on the call. I don't see any. I'll go back to our agenda slide. So we have, again, through August 2nd, which is the end of this week, and then also the end of through next week. So end of next week is the targeted completion for this sprint. And then we have a few items that we went through in the review, the bug fix for 1564. That fix should be abandoned, and after that point, we should be able to close that issue as done. And then I'll add Matt to the review for 1579. 1617 and 1621 will defer to a later sprint, so I will move those back into the backlog with a comment. And then VOL 1666, Garish will be taking a look at that to try and assist so we can get that unblocked so that the work can move forward. And if we need to pull in other folks to look at that, please just let me know. Okay, I think that is it for the main topics for today, so I may be able to give you some time back. We do have one item that's been added to the agenda for Thursday's call, and that's related to the VOLTA FCAPS Brigade status review. Let me see if we've got Scott on the bridge. Scott, do you want to make a couple comments about what to expect for Thursday's meeting?
Sure. So what we're going to discuss on Thursday is what we've been working on in the brigade, which is the design of two different APIs. One of them is an on-demand API, which right now is used, or right now we're planning on using it for test actions that initiate a self-test on an ONT and then provide that information back to the operator on demand. The same API may also be usable for OLTs and other devices that shouldn't be considered only for ONTs. The other thing we've been looking at is something we're calling the wall clock API. And the wall clock API is the sort of periodic statistics that we generate, the performance metrics that are generated every 15 minutes. So there's been some requirements in JIRA stories that we've been trying to address, that these APIs come every 15 minutes on the wall clock. So this is actually synchronized like 6 p.m., 6:15 p.m., 6:30 p.m., etc. And also that we nail down the timing on this as to what statistics end up in an interval. So we'll be talking about these requirements as well as a couple of the proposals to address the requirements. And that's what we'll be discussing on Thursday.
Thanks, Scott. And currently we've allocated about 45 minutes for that discussion, so we're expecting we would have time for one more topic if there is anything else people would like to bring up for Thursday's meeting. So if you have something or if you have a demo that you'd like to get scheduled in, please let me know. And we should again have time for one more topic on Thursday's agenda if something comes up. Okay, I think that's it for today's meeting. Any other topics from the group for discussion today? Okay, I'll go ahead and give you a little bit of time back. I'll stop the recording. Thanks to everyone for your participation.